Okay, people. So I want to do the blessing the speech meditation again.
Yes, Venerable.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I love doing this practice. It's something that always surprises me. I mean, who would ever think, part of your spiritual practice is to bless your tongue? It sounds hilarious, doesn't it? But it's a really marvelous practice. And I think it sets us off in the right direction. We have our body, we have our speech, and we have our mind. And of course, the first levels of practice are to do with the body and speech. This is the whole point of very basic level of Buddhist practice, starting point, entry level, discipline the body and speech, the servants of the mind. If we can't control the servants of the mind, how can we possibly control the mind? Which is finally the point, isn't it? So these little meditations, very sweet, using visualization, always using purification. Also, even though it's a speech that we're doing, we utilize this to purify our body, our speech, and our mind. So if we can put the practice up, there it is. That's not the right one. That's not the right one, I don't think. Let me just have a look. Let me see. Just stop for a second.
This is the one that Matt gave me.
Oh, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's have a look. Okay, let's hope that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is it. That's excellent. Okay, good. You can't make it bigger. The words look very small. Oh, because you've got double page spread, haven't you?
Yes, let me change that.
Oh, here we go. Single's better, yeah. Make single page is better. But can you make it bigger, the words? No. Easier
Yes.
to bigger. That's it, better. That's it, better. Okay, good. So you just concentrate. Anyway, you just meditate, and the only time you want to open your eyes is if you haven't remember remember the mantras yet. So just get our body in the right position. It's the mind that meditates, but the body has to be in a conducive position. So just quickly check the points. Your hands in the meditation mudra, if you have, in gesture, left underneath, right on top in your lap, thumbs touching, forming a triangle. Your body upright. If you're in a chair, don't slump into the back of the chair. Hold your body upright. It helps the subtler mind and the subtler winds go through the body without being blocked. Your body upright, but your body relaxed, the muscles relaxed. Your head, the main thing is the head slightly tilted forward, chin tucked in, jaw relaxed, the jaw relaxed, lips slightly apart, tip of the tongue resting behind the top teeth. This prevents you from dribbling. Of course, if you're doing serious long meditations, this is helpful. This little 30-minute one, it's okay. And your eyes lightly closed with your eyes looking down as if you're looking along your nose. All these points have come from the experience of the great yogis and yoginis over the centuries, found to be most conducive for the mind to do its job. So we just visualize Buddha above our heads. And then we just say this little refuge prayer. Konchog sumla kyabsuchi da drola penchir sange shog. Konchog sumla kyabsuchi drola penchir sange shog. Konchog sumla kyabsuchi drola penchir sange shog. So now we imagine. Visualization just means using your creative imagination. And if you can't visualize, then you just think it. It's okay. Don't worry. So now you visualize, you imagine on your tongue is the syllable R, the Sanskrit syllable. If you know it, of course, or the Tibetan, of course, but otherwise the Roman letter AH, 2 letters. R, standing upright on your tongue. Before we continue, just want to remind ourselves, part of the meditation, why are we trying to bless our speech? Think about it. Because that's what we use to communicate with human beings. The suffering, the dramas we have is to do with our speech most of the time. Most of us, we don't kill and rape too many people, maybe, or steal. We don't use our body to do much harm to others, but our speech. Look at the mess in our relationships, people not understanding our words, people misunderstanding us, people thinking we're being harsh when we're not, people not believing our words, we being confused when we talk, not knowing what we're saying, uncontrolled speech. We know once the words are out of the mouth, it's too late, isn't it? The damage is done. The speech is so powerful. The main gift of the Buddha, actually, they call it the power of speech. You could see a Buddha, but if they don't open their mouth and give you guidance, you can't do anything. And we need in our lives the ability to communicate. We need our wishes to be fulfilled. We go to a shop, you want something, you use your speech. If people don't want to hear you, you can't even get what you want. So speech is incredible. So various ways to make our speech powerful. One way is to be silent, consciously silent. Another way is to do practices like this, marvelous practices, utilizing the Sanskrit syllables that are said to be very powerful. Another way is just to, just say mantra through the day, just the same mantra. You're feeling confused, unhappy, a bit depressed, just say some Om Mani Padme Hum. Blesses the wind energies, the subtler physical energies, which blesses your mind. And to be conscious to speak the truth, to be conscious to refrain from lying, to refrain from harsh speech, consciously refrain from speaking badly about people when they're not there. These actions, these are all the ways to purify our mind, but to purify our speech and make our speech useful for sentient beings. It's a great benefit. So on your tongue, there's R, A-H. So now that R turns into a moon disc, quite flat, like a flat cushion, a moon disc on your tongue. And now on top of that, there's a white Om standing upright. And then it's surrounded by all the white vowels. Of course, we don't remember them, so we just have to imagine the Sanskrit letters standing upright, going clockwise around the Om on your white disc on your tongue. And then circling counterclockwise are the red consonants standing upright. And then clockwise, the mantras of as Rinpoche calls it, the dependent related heart mantra, or we might say the mantra of dependent arising, which helps us realize emptiness. So that's blue syllables, clockwise, around the red consonants, which are counterclockwise, and around the white vowels, which are clockwise. All of this on your tongue. Imagine, do your best. Now you imagine that light beams, the color of the different syllables, light beams, red, white, and blue, go out to all the directions of the universe. Powerful laser beams of light go out. And you imagine what it does is hook the energy of all the Buddhas, all the power of speech of all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the great yogis and yoginis, all the practitioners throughout the universe, the power of their speech. It hooks this energy. All those who've practiced, all those who are practicing, all those who've got the power of speech, such that whatever word they say is useful to whoever hears it. All this power, this energy of this powerful speech of all the holy beings throughout the universe comes, and then all this light comes back with this power, with this energy of all this blessed speech, and comes back and absorbs back into the syllables on our tongue, making them radiant and delicious, just about to melt. Imagine this. So now as we recite the first lot down the bottom of the page there, as we recite the vows, we visualize, we imagine nectar, white nectar, pouring down from these vows, which are radiant and containing the power of all the blessed speech of all the universe, all the holy beings, all the energy of the holy beings. This pours down and fills us completely. And imagine, first of all, it completely purifies your body, all the sickness and the heaviness. And sometimes our body is such an obstacle, isn't it? It feels heavy and problematic. All the sickness completely purifies all of this, making it light and radiant. But also you imagine it purifies all the karmic imprints in our mind from all the harm we've ever done, not just in this life, not just today, yesterday, day before, but in the countless past lives, all the karmic imprints from the actions we've done using our bodies to harm others, and remembering every millisecond of what we think and do and say. None of it goes astray. It leaves imprints, or it kind of leaves impressions. It leaves a tendency in the mind. This makes sense. So imagine this powerful white nectar pouring down from the white vowels, purifies all of this, filling you completely, radiant. All the negative actions, all the harm you've ever done to sentient beings with your bodies, the killing of all the creatures, you know, the harming. Maybe we had abortions at some point, and, you know, all these things. I've lost you. I have to just assume that you're all there. So I'm going to keep talking. And purifying all of this in your body, radiant. Imagine, radiant. So radiant as we say the syllables. I think I'm so sorry to interrupt. You're going to have to tell me if you're still there. Can you hear me, you people?
Yes, Venerable, we can.
But thank you so much, because I can't see you. I'm so sorry. I've lost you.
Click on the Zoom button.
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So now we say the mantra. I just have to find you. I'm so sorry. Wait. So we just say the mantra. Om. Imagine this white nectar filling you, completely purifying. Om. I u ri li o ang swaha. Om I u ri li o ang swaha. Om I u ri li o ang swaha. I've got you again. Full of this delicious white nectar. Imagine, totally purified your body light, and totally purified all the negative actions of having harmed others. And imagine it's as if you now couldn't possibly harm again. It's imagine as if your body now is full of the power to only benefit others. And even imagine whoever sees you, hears you, touches you, can only be benefited just by your body. Imagine this, want this. All the negative karma of actions purified, your body powerful and light and radiant, and able only to benefit others. How amazing. So now we recite, as we recite the red consonants, we visualize this red nectar coming from all those letters on our tongue, filling us completely, totally purifying, this time the speech, you know, all the harm we've ever done since beginning this time with our speech, all of which leaves impressions, imprints, tendencies, seeds in the mind. Nothing goes astray. Totally purifying all of this. All the harm we've done to sentient beings by saying words that aren't true, And even if we're not sure we're lying, even if we don't think we're lying, if we don't consciously lie, we speculate. We so often say things we don't know are true. And we end up confusing people, all the speculation. The harsh speech, abusing people. All the speech that's just meaningless. It's just kind of rabbiting on out of our mouths, kind of boring people. And also particularly all the speech we do, which we feel very comfortable about when we're behind people's backs, when they're not there. We criticize people. We criticize politicians. We criticize other people at work. We criticize family. We criticize people we read about. We're always saying negative words. We don't think it matters. This is what's so powerful about speech, which we don't think, I'm sure, in our modern culture, we don't think this. We don't think it, we think it doesn't matter. We say, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm allowed to say what I like, we say. Because we don't realize that even though nobody else might hear us, even, we're polluting our own mind, which impacts upon the wind energies, which then harms ourselves physically and mentally eventually. We don't realize cause and effect, that everything we think and do and say just naturally programs oneself, apart from anything else, apart from the harm or the good we do to others. What we say and think, even what we say and just think, programs oneself. This we don't realize. This we don't think about in our culture. We say, I'm allowed to say what I like. Of course you are. But we have to understand that everything we think and do and say impacts upon us, programs this person, turns us into the person we become. This is kind of powerful. So imagine, full of this blissful red nectar, all the negative speech purified. And think that your speech is beneficial now. Whoever hears you is benefited. How amazing. Full of this blissful red nectar. And then now we recite the dependent related heart mantra. This time, these syllables, blue, nectar pours down from these, and this purifies our mind, which of course is the point, which is the basis of all the others. Radiant blue nectar, completely filling us and immediately annihilating, this mistaken sense of self, which causes this fear we have, this anxiety, the attachment, the anger, the low self-esteem, the arrogance, the jealousy, all these unhappy states of mind that seem to drive us, that seem to come whether we want them or not, and that we unfortunately identify with. When they're really strong, they loom large in our mind, don't they? And we believe the stories. I am hopeless. I am no good. This is no good. I can't do it. It's not possible. We buy into these stories. This is so powerful. This is so common. And we seem to have no choice. All these delusions, which have no basis in reality, just a bunch of habits. And they don't define us. They're not our true nature. And they can be changed and eventually removed completely. So imagine this blue nectar filling us, annihilating all this nonsense, annihilating all the fears, because the fear is the nature of all these states of mind. When you're angry, look at it, you're full of fear. When you're attached, full of fear. Anxiety is fear. This mistaken sense of a concrete me is rooted in fear. So primordial. Imagine this, gone, full of this radiant blue nectar, light, blissful, as we say the mantras, as we say the syllables. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tajagato hi evadat teshan chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tajagato hi evadat teshan chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun te shan tatagato yeva datte shanchayo nirodaya vamvadimaha shramanaya swaha. Full of this blissful nectar, blue, pervading our entire body. Delusion's gone. Imagine this. So what will be there instead? This is the point. Only the virtues. They are what define us. They are our true nature. Compassion, wisdom, generosity, forgiveness, love, kindness. These are what define our nature. These are our human qualities. And these we can grow infinitely. Imagine, full of this. And imagine, because the delusions are gone, this is the part that's so interesting. And if we understand this, it's quite a revelation. All the fears and dramas and pain of the emotions are the nature of all the delusions. So as they are less, so your pain becomes less, you become more light mentally, more joy, therefore more, literally more joyful. Happiness, joy, these words, they are the nature of our mind when the delusions are not prevailing. When the delusions are prevailing, they're the opposite of joy, aren't they? Misery, anxiety, fears, tight. So the happiness, joyful feelings literally come from the presence of love and compassion and goodness in our minds. And this is what our practice is. Don't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. It's a doable job. Lessening the delusions, growing the goodness, and therefore growing our lightness and clarity and peacefulness and happiness. These are real, meaningful words, not just accidental. So imagine this, full of this radiant blue nectar. Delusions gone. So now imagine that these blue syllables on our tongue dissolve into the red consonants. And the red consonants dissolve into the white vowels. And the white vowels dissolve into the moon disk. And now the moon disk turns into an R syllable, standing upright. What happened to it? I've lost it. And then go back. Can you go back further? Go back further. A little bit, the top of the page. That's it, yeah. That's right, that's right, that's right. So now the R, this now turns into the R. What happened to the moon? Oh yeah, the moon, Om into the moon. And then now the moon disk turns into the R. And this turns into pink colored nectar. Imagine. And dissolves into your tongue. This pink colored nectar dissolves into your tongue. And your tongue becomes of Vajra nature. Your tongue becomes indestructible. Imagine that nothing can harm or take away or destroy the power of your speech, the power of your mantra, the power of your speech, which means people listen to you. People want to hear you. You benefit people with your speech. Even the ants and the birds and the dogs and the creatures and the spirits, whoever hears you is benefited by your speech. So imagine your speech is indestructible, powerful, and have strong confidence that all the power and the blessings of all the speech of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the sages and yogis and all the rest have entered your speech and that your speech is perfected. Now imagine something, you think, I have perfected my speech. And think the minute that sentient beings hear your speech, for example, it pacifies them, it calms them. Just one word can help one person. This is incredible. This is the way to help sentient beings. We must help their bodies. We must help them with sickness. We must help them in that way. But this is the most powerful way to benefit with our speech. It's really marvelous to think this way. And it's so evident when we do think about it. It makes such sense. So again, like I said, purifying our speech every day, doing our practices, saying mantra, consciously being silent, consciously not lying, not bad-mouthing, consciously not using harsh language. These are the methods for making our speech useful, that we can be of benefit to suffering sentient beings. How marvelous. And so just this and now this little dedication prayer. May my tongue have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the power manifesting from these glorified words, may all sentient beings be subdued. And whatever words I say, may all these actions be accomplished instantly. And then make this decision, whether it's the end of the day for you, the middle of the day, or the beginning of the day. This is the thing that when we understand that when we make a decision to do something, that's when we do it. So let's decide, today I'm going to watch my speech. This is a very powerful decision to make because it's so automatic. These words just pour out of our mouths so unconsciously. So decide, I will not lie. I will not use harsh language. I will not criticize people behind their backs, including the politicians. I mean, the thing is, forget about the harm it does to others. This is the point that we don't realize. Forget about the harm it does to others. Think of the benefit to you, yourself, of refraining from negativity, refraining from lying, refraining from speculating, refraining from rabbiting on about nothing, refraining from bad-mouthing people behind their backs. It's like extraordinary. If in one day you can consciously refrain from negative speech, you are the beneficiary. This is the point. It's not some kind of moralistic idea. You're literally benefiting yourself. Then it makes it easier to control the mind. Then it makes it easier to have control over our mind. This is the Buddhist approach. We have this incredible, incredible potential to control our body, speech, and mind, to become the boss of ourselves, rather than feeling we're just this victim that gets thrown from pillar to post. We have the power to totally transform ourselves into the person we want to become. This is exactly what you're doing with Buddhist practice. Have confidence in that. So just for a minute now, just kind of relax. Don't think of your mind very spacious, very clear. And just sit there for a minute and try to have no thoughts. Just relax, no thoughts. Very spacious, comfortable. That's it, people. And just finish this little prayer of may compassion and bodhicitta grow and grow in the hearts of all. Changchob sem chogrin poche ma ke panam ke gyuchik ke panyampa me payang gong ne gong du pabasho Kewadi Nudodag Lama Sange Drubyone Drowa Chikyang Marupa Dei Salagapasho. That's it, people. Thank you so much. Keep moving, never give up, one step at a time. Don't panic. Everything's okay. Keep moving, never give up. Okay.
Thank you, Venerable Robina.
Goodbye, darlings. Thank you.